Protests erupted across the United States on Saturday as citizens voiced outrage over the U.S. military operation in Venezuela. Hundreds gathered outside the White House, in Times Square, and other major cities, denouncing the capture of Venezuelan President Nicolás Maduro and his wife by U.S. forces.
I believe that military interventions are inherently dangerous, and Trump lies and the State Department lies. They lie in their reports on Venezuela. And I think it's to impose our will like this, it's cowardly, and it's disrespectful, and it's dangerous.
I just stand against U.S. imperialism altogether. U.S. imperialism, they want oil. Like the U.S. wants oil, they want to help their corporate billionaires. Bombing is just their means to building power like that, to taking control. So again, I'm against that.
Banners reading "Hands off Venezuela" and "Stop bombing Venezuela now" filled the streets as demonstrators called out what they see as a blatant act of U.S. imperialism.
Out here because the kidnapping of Maduro and the bombing and U.S. takeover of Venezuela is illegitimate.
I'm totally horrified that the United States has committed a coup, that we're violating international rights. First, we started bombing boats and killing people, and we brought in ships, and we just went in and took a president out. We have no right to do that.
Earlier in the day, U.S. President Donald Trump announced on Truth Social that the United States had successfully carried out a large-scale airstrike against Venezuela. Maduro and his wife were reportedly flown out of the country following the operation.
President, does the U.S. running the country mean that U.S. troops will be on the ground? How will that work?
Well, they always say boots on the ground. So we're not afraid of boots on the ground if we have to have. We had boots on the ground last night at a very high level, actually. We're not afraid of it. We don't mind saying it. But we're going to make sure that that country is run properly. We're not doing this in vain. This is a very dangerous attack. This is an attack that could have gone very, very badly. Could have gone very badly. We could have lost a lot of people last night. We could have lost a lot of dignity. We could have lost a lot of equipment. The equipment is less important, but we could have lost a lot. And we're going to make sure that this is proper. We're there now. We're ready to go again if we have to. We're going to run the country right. It's going to be run very judiciously, very fairly. It's going to make a lot of money. We're going to give money to the people. We're going to reimburse people that were taken advantage of. We're going to take care of everybody. It's very important. We couldn't let them get away with it. They stole our oil. We built that whole industry there, and they just took it over like we were nothing. And we had a president that decided not to do anything about it. So we did something about it. We're late, but we did something about it.
The Venezuelan government condemned the strike as military aggression, claiming civilian and military sites in at least 4 states were targeted, including Caracas, Miranda, Aragua, and La Guaira. Venezuela says the action violates the UN Charter, calling it an illegal intervention.
Heroic people of Venezuela, soldiers of the homeland, sons and daughters of Bolivar. The Bolivarian National Armed Forces would like to formally inform the entire world that in the very early hours of today, January 3rd, the Venezuelan people have unfortunately been subjected to what can only be described as the most criminal and completely unjustifiable military aggression by the government of the United States of America. So far, the ruthless and shocking barbarity of the invading forces that have desecrated our sacred soil in the areas of Huerte Tuna, the capital city of Caracas, in the states of Miranda, Aragua, and La Guaira, have even struck civilian residential areas with devastating missiles and powerful rockets fired from their heavily armed combat helicopters.
Not every protester shared the same view. Many called Maduro a criminal, questioning why critics don't move to Venezuela or other communist countries if they oppose U.S. action.
This invasion of Venezuela has everything to do with trying to distract us from him being in the Epstein file and the crappy state of our economy and the rising healthcare costs.
I'm still in shock, to be honest. It was a late night for me. I just happened to see it exactly like when it happened, and I was shocked. I think kind of as I tried to communicate in the sign that I created, I just feel like I wake up in this country every day and I wonder, you know, kind of in fear whose blood will be on my hand next as a taxpayer in this country, as a citizen in this country, as somebody who's a descendant of the transatlantic slave trade and has absolutely nowhere else to go. I wonder what blood will be on my hands, what innocent country, what country are we going to be bombing, are we going to be killing and just doing all kinds of terrible things and for really no good reason.
It's another outrage of Trump, who doesn't give a shit about any people. His only interest is oil and greed and corruption. And that is who he allies himself with, and that is what he is. He's a greedy, corrupt criminal. And he doesn't speak for me and for most of America, I would say, but whatever. I just think it's an absolute horror, and he's been waiting for this. This is his moment.
U.S. dominance in the Western Hemisphere. The reason I think this is so important, in order to keep at the very center of what we're doing.
We've been protesting for a long time for way too many different reasons. We are now in a full-on dictatorship. And it's corrupt. We know it's corrupt. We know it's about Epstein files. We know it's about January 6th and the cover-up. And we sure as hell know it's about oil.
Their oil in Iran before they carried out the coup d'etat that toppled the Mossadegh government in '53. When we think about the formulation,
but civilian neighborhoods. This war has nothing to do with drug traffickers in Peru and Ecuador about ending the drug trade. Venezuela has
the kidnapping of Nicolás Maduro and his wife and bringing them while we're here demonstrating in Times Square by aircraft to New York City